upset, but hey, I am so excited to do this talk. And I think it's a talk that's literally quite deep, but it's something that I think most people go through, and I think it's just great to chat about it and talk about it. So I'm going to head in now and just see the team. Hi, Ash, you right?
Good, how you doing?
Oh, yes, people, come on, let's selfie. Oh, yeah. But yeah, I'm going to do a little talk, so I'm going to go to the studio and I'll see you up there.
How are you?
I'm good, man. Gosh, I'm sorry I'm late.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
traffic.
What time do you call this?
Listen. I'm here now, that's the important thing.
Yeah.
I'm so here, but I'm excited.
Yeah, why change the habit of a lifetime?
Yes.
Yes?
Come on.
Do you want a tea?
Do I want a tea? Yes, please,
Come
actually.
on now.
Yeah, let's have a tea. Come on.
Talk to me though, how do you have it?
Well, I do prefer oat milk, but do you know what? It's okay. It's absolutely fine. I will have just one sugar and no milk.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, come on in. Let's get this sorted. So come on, what do you want then?
Yeah.
PG?
Tea. Yes, PG's all good. Please.
No expense spared.
No expense spared, although the oat milk's not there, so.
Can we get oat milk?
Can we?
Get oat milk? Have we got oat milk?
They're like, no.
You can tell Ashley's doing props.
Yeah, definitely.
Not these props. This is a real tea bag.
This is a real tea bag. I'm privileged, you know. Church budget bag. That's good. Come on.
You've probably already covered this on film, but why were you late?
Why was I late?
I don't want to get too into it.
No. Do you know what the thing is? I'm a teacher, right? And I literally work in Selly Oak. So it takes me about half an hour, 40 minutes with traffic here. So that's why I'm late.
So what are we talking about tonight?
Yeah, so we're talking about how, you know, dealing with grief and loss and I guess just how to kind of deal with it. And I know I'm still dealing with it. So it'd be nice to just talk about it and hopefully give somebody out there some advice, something to take, and we'll just roll with it. But I mean, I would have allowed it, let it brew a little bit, but hey, you know what? We're working with it here. This is like my 4th cup of tea, by the way, today. Teachers drink a lot of tea. Yes.
Right, one for you.
Thank you.
No problemos.
Ben's mug.
Can't show you the other side because it's got a terrible picture of me.
Oi! Still looks the same.
No.
Still looks the same.
Right, come on.
Right,
let's do this.
Let's do this.
I've done like a proper pro job with that.
No, it's actually all right to be honest. It's good tea, actually.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, it's good tea.
Well brewed.
Yeah, well, I mean, it could have been left a little bit longer, but it's all right. I've got to be truthful. I've just got to be truthful. Well, it's nice. It's all right. It's good, but it's a good tea.
The thing is, you were going on for a second there about it, and I was like, I'm going to get like good 9.7 out of 10 here.
Yeah, no, it's a good tea. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just, it could have just been...
No, but you've just all of a sudden dialed it back in teacher mode and gone room for improvement.
There's always room for improvement, Ben. You never can get to... I'm a teacher.
Oh, man.
It is what it is.
Okay, brilliant. Well, thanks. Hey, it's good to see. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really good, thank you. It's good to be here and good to just chat as well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Nice.
How is work going?
Do you know what? It's going good. I'm in my 1st year of teaching, which is actually a crazy thing to think about, me being a teacher, but I actually love it. I enjoy...
How long have you been doing it now?
And then it's now coming up to, literally a year teaching fully qualified.
Wow.
I've got the status, people. Yeah, I've got the status.
Full-blown teacher.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. I am. What year?
Year 5. Yeah,
right.
Year 5.
I know. I don't have kids. so I do not have a clue what that means. Year 5, is that primary
Year 5,
school?
yeah, primary school. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, it's primary school, and they are 9 to 10-year-olds in that class.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of just
Is it hard work?
It is hard work. A lot of sass.
Yeah.
I could tell you
Ash,
that.
how old are your kids?
13 and 9.
Oh, so he's in the
9.
9-year-old category. Hard work?
He's shaking his like, I don't want to reveal the secret.
Yeah.
I am not
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, good.
Enjoyably hard work.
Yeah, enjoy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
enjoy
okay.
hard
Nice
work.
compromise. So we wanted to get together and just, this week, last week, a couple of weeks ago, Naomi and I were talking, and we were just got onto the topic of loss. Naomi lost her mom. How long ago was it?
Oh, it'd be 3 years ago now.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, 3 years
Yeah.
ago. Lost my mum, yeah.
So Naomi lost her mom 3 years ago, and we just got onto this question of how, now you've had chance to look back and reflect a little bit, how did you deal with it in that moment? Because when the whirlwind of that's going on, it can obviously be a really difficult and painful time, but
Yeah.
when you've had time to reflect, you know, you have a slightly different perspective on things. But we were just talking about it, and we thought, hey, be probably a useful conversation for other people to just maybe hear and hear your
Yeah.
thoughts on that. So, I haven't met Naomi's mom.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't.
Do you know what? I'm going to admit something as well, and I probably should have done a bit more research before you ventured in. I don't even know your mom's name.
No, my mum's name was Rosalie. She used to be called Rose for short. I tried to call her Rosalie one time, and it didn't work out very well. So you could already tell my mum's personality when it came to
Yeah.
just who she was.
Does she like to just be called mom?
Yeah, just mum. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the normal thing to
Yeah,
call
yeah,
a
yeah.
parent.
Yeah.
Yeah, mum. I think that's the most normal thing to
Yeah,
do. Yeah,
yeah.
no, yeah, mum.
Okay.
Yeah, mum or mama. That's what I used to call my
Okay.
mum. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
She was amazing.
Okay.
She was brilliant. And I think who my mum was as a character and who she is, she was very sarcastic. I could give you that, like, very sarcastic. And the thing is, she'll be sarcastic, but it will actually hurt. Like, I'll be like, she'll say something with a sarcastic like tone, and I'll be like, Mum, but that's actually quite mean.
Yeah, that's
like,
painful.
That's painful. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's painful. And then I used to try back the sarcastic tone. It didn't end well. No, it would be, Naomi, go to your room. Okay.
Yeah.
My mum was a disciplinarian, strong woman as well.
Yeah.
Confident. She was actually also a teacher.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, she was a secondary school
So
teacher.
is this where you've kind of wanted to follow in her footsteps?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. And actually, do you know what was crazy? Because I actually did an undergrad in childhood studies, and I think at the time my mum was like, "Oh, so you're going to be a teacher?" And I was like, "I don't know." And this was like my 3rd year of uni. I was like, "I don't know if I want to be a teacher." And naturally, I just kind of went into other things, like just did charity work. And then for some reason, it just always. I know I was always good with kids. I knew I was,
Okay.
and I knew I had the passion to become a teacher, but I still wanted to live life a little bit.
Yeah.
And then literally, a year after, no, actually the same year my mum passed away is when actually I got the email to say, would you like to do teacher training with us
Oh, that's
at the
amazing.
university? So
Yeah.
it's mad, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because you do a lot of, Naomi does a lot of our youth work here. So how long have you been a youth worker as well?
Okay, let's think. Right, so I have been a youth leader since, I think it's about 8 years. It will be 8 years, yeah.
Okay.
8 years I've been in the game. And I started when I was 17.
Wow.
Yeah.
You were only youth, really?
I was youth, leading youth.
Wow.
It's mad, isn't it?
Wrap your heads around that.
I was youth leading youth. Put that as like a slogan and
Yeah.
youth leading youth. Yeah, it was a great opportunity, and I loved working with young people. Hence, what made me want to kind of work more with young people with my job and before teaching. It was best years, and I still am a youth leader, which is incredible. Just shows how great youth is for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. Tell us a bit about kind of mum and what happened.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know.
So my mum was diagnosed with breast cancer. And actually, we didn't know about this until, because actually at that time, my mum was diagnosed, and this was in 2018, she was diagnosed. So we didn't know, obviously, when this breast cancer, when it started. But when I finished university, we found out actually then that she had a tumour, a small tumour, and that she was actually going to have surgery to get the tumour removed. And my mum was just a person that was just always into her health. So it was very, very important to her.
Yeah.
She decided that she didn't want to go down the path of chemotherapy. I mean, it's everyone's choice. But she just felt like she just wanted it to do the natural way of where she wanted to go. So we weren't opposed by that. She was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2018. She did recover quite well. But it was early 2019. She had lymph nodes. So it's important actually when you have breast cancer, after that you get, treated, to check your lymph nodes, because actually they can get blocked. And if they're blocked, which means then the water retention has nowhere to go but your arms or your legs or anything like that. So early 2019, I think it started to about February, she started to get some more water retention in her arms, and it was quite painful for her. So just the daily things of what she wanted to do. So she had to come out of work for a bit and take sick leave. She needed a bit more help around the house, just cooking, cleaning, because her arm it started to swell and it got bigger and bigger. And she then started to have more water retention that went down to like her legs as well. And we went to the Mary Curie Hospice actually, because they were quite helpful with just helping my mum treat her and just have that rehabilitation, I think that's what's called. Just making sure she can still like move her arm and just move her legs. But as time went on, and this was actually for a good couple of months actually, so it wasn't quite small, it wasn't quite big then, but I think where was it? She must have been in July. So it was around about May, June, where it started to get significantly worse, and we could see that her arm was like 10 times and her legs just was like enormous, and the water retention was it was going to her legs, her arms. She couldn't even like walk as much anymore. So we had a hospital bed moved in, and she was sleeping downstairs because she couldn't walk up the stairs, unfortunately. So I knew that for myself it was a lot of going to work, coming back home, making sure she's eaten, get something ready. Yeah. My dad was the same. My dad had to come back from work, get ready, look after her, try and see whatever way we could help her. There was a lot of evenings where we had to like sit with her, so she would like take her tablets and things just to help her. But I think it got to the point where, because all of us were working, all of us were doing a lot, my mum needed more round-the-clock care. Yeah. She made the decision, and she just wanted to have round-the-clock care, so she decided to go to the hospice. And that was her decision, it wasn't ours. I would have preferred that she would have been at home, but she was just like, I need somebody here 24/7, and she just felt really bad, and I could see she felt bad because she just didn't want us to be around her or look after her or take care of her. So we took her to the hospice, we took her to Mary Curie Hospice, and I think when she got there, I think we all kind of looked and we realised that, it wasn't looking too good. Even the doctors came in and said, look, you might want to say your goodbyes, and you might want to just, and at this point, I think my mum was, because she was lying in the bed and she was quite sedated at this point, and she was on a lot of morphine, so she didn't quite know what was going on. And I think by the third day she was in there, I think she kind of looked and realised that, it's just, she's not going to carry on. It was a Monday, it was 12 o'clock, and my uncle was with her. And at that point, she passed away. So I remember getting the phone call saying, your mum didn't make it through today. So, it was a tough one. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. I think for us as a family, I think when you initially get that call, you're just like, what? But it was a tough day. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a really, really bright, sunny day. And you know what? Mum was just like, you could see, because where she was actually, there was like lots of flowers, there was lots of it was just radiant, it was beautiful. She passed away very peacefully. Yeah. She did. Yeah, it was, I guess you can't, ask for this, but you can only just hope that she did. And it was really nice. So it was a nice sunny day.
Yeah. So, kind of following then your mum's passing away, just where were you? How were you feeling? And then kind of how over the period of, a couple of days, the initial first few hours, the first few minutes of finding out right through to now, I guess. How have you dealt with that?
I think the initial day was it's really hard to explain, really. And I think once you do go through, something like this, you kind of don't really know how to explain it, but it was more so like you just felt like the world kind of stood still for a moment.
Yeah.
So everyone else was kind of living their lives, and you just felt like you were just literally someone stuck in just like a bit of a montage, and everyone's just kind of doing their thing, and everyone's, living life. But you're there standing there when you've got this news, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like that's it. And I think for all of us, I think especially my dad, it hit him quite hard. Obviously, he's been married to my mum for like over 25 years.
Wow.
I think for him to see him go through his emotions, I think that was the toughest part for me.
Okay.
I never really looked at my own emotions. I kind of was looking at everybody else and how they're dealing with it. And I saw my dad, and my dad just broke down every day. I think my sister was a little bit more like me. I think we kind of were a little bit like gauging and just doing things. And my brother was the same. I went over to actually Catherine's mum's house, and she herself, we had this relationship where she was like...
Catherine?
Catherine is our youth and young adults pastor. So she is one of my best friends as well. So she was very, very helpful.
Yeah.
And her family, the Shans, they also go to this church as well. They were very much of a key part of helping me get through this. But I remember going to theirs on the second day, the second day. And I remember like sitting in Catherine's mum's lap, and I was just crying. I was just crying. And I think it was just that emotion that needed to release, because I actually didn't cry much on the day when my mum passed away. I cried more so on the second day. Sitting there, I think just crying like as if almost like I was a bit like a baby, like genuinely it was those type of tears. And it was tough. It was quite tough to deal with. But again, it was just literally was like in my head, how do I process this emotion? How do I move forward? And at that time, I'm just literally like, okay, God help me. Literally like, God help me. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know how this is going on. And to be honest, I think I had this same saying of God help me for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like a good couple of weeks where I was still I just kept saying that because I was just still processing.
So what specifically? Because normally when you say help, you're asking for God to help you specifically with something. And obviously, you're asking God to help you in that situation.
Yeah.
But was it the feelings, or was it, what kind of were you asking God to help you with? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I think for me, asking what I asked for was just more so just like trying to work out what has happened.
Yeah, okay.
Like genuinely going and sitting to myself, like just sitting down and just going like, okay, so I've been a Christian for many years, right? 8 years old, committed my life in the living room.
Yeah.
Mum was the one that was helping me.
Okay.
Mum's been there through like time, been there, my faith, parents were pastors actually at that point. And I was church was everything that I knew.
Yeah.
And I heard, I literally live a life through where I'm living my life out for Jesus. And then I get to a point where I'm like, okay, so you've taken one thing away from me, a person who's raised me.
Yeah.
How do I deal with that?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
how can I cope with that? So I think it wasn't necessarily to do with the feelings. It was like, help me understand this.
Yeah. Why?
Why is it? Yeah. Like, it was like, why has this happened?
Yeah.
And that was what was the thing the question was going on and on in my head, just like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
Because all I've ever known was all about God and what God does and at this, I'm talking about at this moment of time. So there was a lot of questions. There was a lot of questions to what's happened. So that's why I was kind of going, God help me to understand why this is happening at this point.
So how did you deal with what happened? What's, from that moment through to now, how have you dealt with it?
Well, I'm dealing with it.
She's still dealing with it.
I don't think I've dealt with it.
Yeah, okay.
I
I'll
haven't
accept
dealt
that.
with it. Not at all. Like, I don't think you ever deal with it, right? Like, you just, I think you just learn to adjust, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Like, you learn to live life with knowing, yes, a vital person in my life has gone and she's not here anymore. And I do believe that she is in that eternal life that we speak about and that God promised us.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to, to
go on.
process that. Like,
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I'm dealing with it. I'm
Yeah.
dealing with it.
So what you're saying is dealing with it is actually a tick box exercise of dealing with grief. Tick, done. But
Yeah.
actually it's not
No,
that.
no.
It's just this happened and
Yeah.
I'm still dealing,
Mm-hmm.
still moving on,
Yeah.
still trying to pick up pieces and sort stuff out, still handling feelings, emotions and all that kind of stuff
Yeah.
to go with it.
Yeah.
So you've talked a bit about God, and at the very start, like one of your first questions is like, why God?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've obviously turned to God in this, like your faith element of this has
Yeah.
been big for you. But I guess maybe on the flip side of that, people are like, well, if this has happened, does God actually really exist? You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So kind of how are you so sure here now? You know, you still love God, right?
Oh yeah. Listen. God is real. It is real,
Okay.
and yeah, love him. Yeah.
So how can you be so sure about that statement
Yeah.
after walking what you've walked, and be so sure to say, well, actually, God does exist? Like,
Yeah.
you know.
I think when I look back now, I don't know exactly the moments where God kind of intervened. I just can see like little parts where I'm like, whoa, hold on, God's worked through that.
Yeah.
Like even just for me, I know not many people are like this, but I was very emotional about it, cried a lot. But I find I don't cry about it as much now while I'm sitting here talking to you about it. Like
Yeah.
that's how
Yeah.
you know actually that
Yeah.
that God has existed, like Jesus exists.
Yeah.
Because it's helped me to talk about it in a way where I'm like, I don't have to cry about it. And
Yeah.
even if I do, that's okay.
Yeah.
But there was not a need for that. And I think I was quite anxious to leave the house for a while.
Yeah.
I was very anxious. I was just like, okay, what are people going to say? What people going to think?
Yeah.
But I just felt this inner peace. And it was more of like a heart thing where I just felt Jesus was there.
Yeah.
I honestly felt God was there. And it was just those little moments. And I can't explain which moments they were. But there's times where I guess, you know, my job in teaching and hanging out with friends and the social element of things of where I can laugh and have joy.
Yeah.
Because people that know me, I laugh a lot. And at
Yeah.
that time when my mum, you know, passed away, I didn't laugh as much. I kind of had a bit of banter and jokes, but it was never a thing. And I believe like sometimes like God gives us little kind of gifts. And I think one of mine is definitely joy.
Yeah.
So that kind of was gone a little
Definitely
bit.
joy.
It is definitely joy.
It's still joy.
It's still joy, and
Yeah.
it still is, and
Yeah.
it kind of it did go a bit, and I think how I know Jesus was in there because I still had a little bit of joy in those moments.
Yeah. Okay. So how did you just keep for God to work in and through that situation?
Yeah.
You obviously kept God
Very close.
very close.
Yeah.
So how did you do that through the time?
Do you know what? This is going to sound really quite like crazy, but actually the way I kept God close was actually because I was so hurt and I was so upset that actually I was talking to God a lot more because I was hurt. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Like because I felt this kind of thing of like, why God, why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
And I almost just kept talking to God a lot more.
Yeah.
God, why is this happening? How come this is happening? Mum's not here, blah, blah, blah. It says in your word, in your scriptures, blah, blah, blah. And I just kept saying, and then I was just like, hold on a minute. I'm talking to God a lot more than actually I did before my mum was passing away. So you find that actually in that moment is where things just started to change. And then I started to feel like my vocabulary started to change. Like, well, okay, she's not here. But Lord, I still trust in your plan. Well, actually, because I was upset and because I was like, oh, the world and all this type of stuff, I talked to God a lot more.
So through the difficult situation, that was almost a catalyst for change as well.
Oh, yeah. And that's where I believe in, I'd never said there was a moment, but I think that moment
Yeah.
is where it switched.
Okay.
And I didn't realize that until
Yeah.
now. Like, I
Okay.
didn't notice that then. I was just doing life and I was talking to God a lot more, but it switched.
Okay.
And I literally sit here now and I'm like, yo, like, I'm like, I'm even sitting
Yeah.
here like, literally, I'm just like, that's just Jesus.
Yeah.
And I sit with so much peace about that.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I'm dealing with it, but just this moment right now here with you just talking about it, I'm just
Yeah.
like,
I can feel
like,
it.
Like,
I can actually feel it from you because I actually think I remember this that actually, and we spoke probably not long after it happened actually, and rightly so.
Yeah.
There there was upset and there was distress and there was tears and I could feel that emotion. But I'm feeling something very different from you
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
I just feel,
yeah.
I do feel that. So tell me something about your mom, like a little story that shows a
Yeah.
character, something you can remember.
Yeah.
Give us a little insight into your world.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. All right. I do have a story. My mum, and I love her. She knows that. But
Here we
she was the worst driver I have ever met in my whole entire life. My mum didn't pass her driving test until she was 42.
Wow.
Yes. The struggle. I mean, do you know what? The struggle was real because my dad used to work, take the car. We used to have to get the bus everywhere with my mum.
Really?
I was never that kid, you know, when people just pull up in the cars, it's like, yeah, my mum's here, my dad's here. And then my mum was like, yeah, we're getting the bus. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, man. Like, because she just refused to drive until, I don't know what happened, but she was like, I want to get my driver's license. I'm
Yeah.
going to pass. I'm going to do it. She got a driver's license. I was like, yeah, this is great. This is great. Went into the car with her for the first time. I literally held on to dear life because normally when you drive, you look left and right. You look in the rearview mirror. You look, okay, is it safe to go? My mum didn't look anywhere. She was just like, I'm going to just drive. I'm going to get there. And that's where I'm going. And she didn't look anywhere. I remember being on the motorway and we were meant to go to, where was it? We were meant to go to Dudley.
Okay.
And Dudley's easy to get to.
Yeah.
But normally a 40-minute journey, right? It took us about an hour and 10. And I remember this because she kept missing the exit we were supposed to get off. So I remember sitting there going, and I literally had tears in my eyes. I was like, Mum, can we just get there? Or let's just go home? Like, it was...
Oh, no.
So my mum, she would admit it. And if she was still here today, she'd probably be like, no. I was like, she, out of the whole family, I have to say, was like, yeah, she wasn't the best driver.
I've never been in the car with you when you're
Yeah.
driving. Do you follow in your mom's footsteps?
Oh, no, I'm a sick driver. What are you on about? Listen, I am the person. I'm better. I'm a better driver than most people who've been driving for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm the one that's going on the motorways. I'm the one that's like
Yeah.
the person to be like, yeah, I'll drive. I'll go here. No one's complaining about my driving
Yeah.
so far. So
Normally when people have to give it this much, they're normally not as good as they're making out. You know what I mean? If somebody, it may be you who's watching, if somebody is watching, and we've talked a bit about it from the Christian perspective, but they're like, I'm walking this right now. I'm in a strange place. This has happened. I've lost something. It doesn't have to be a mom, or it could be anyone that's
Loss is
important to you.
loss,
Loss
yeah.
is loss. What would you say to somebody that doesn't know Jesus about putting him into that situation?
yeah, it's a good question. Tough question. Tough question to answer. No, I think someone who's not walking the faith at this moment of time, I would just say, I think the biggest thing for me to say as just advice is just keep talking to people. Keep having this almost like the faith in terms of not like we say like the Christian faith. Of course, we want you to have that, but the faith of actually you will be able to get through another day. And maybe, or if you want to just try this out, I mean, go to a field or go somewhere and just have a conversation. No one needs to be there. No one needs to be around you. You don't need to bring somebody with you. But why don't you just try and test it out and have that conversation out there with God and just, I don't know, it could just be just anything. It can just be like, God, I don't know how to deal with this.
Yeah.
But I've heard people talk to you or have a conversation with you and I just want to just try it out.
Okay.
That would be, I don't know, that would be something I would say because even me being a Christian, I've done that where I've gone into an open space and I've gone, God, right, want to just have a conversation, let's talk.
Yeah.
And even if you don't maybe not feel anything at that moment of time, there's this a bit of a release of where you've gone, I've let out every emotion inside of me into an open space.
Yeah.
And I've not had anyone around me to butt in. I've not had anyone to tell me, oh, maybe you shouldn't say that. But actually, because you are just you and him, literally, you will have that moment where no one's criticizing you, no one was telling you what to say, but you are just having a conversation. And actually, it's quite nice to have, to talk and somebody's listening.
Yeah.
And that's where that's would be my advice. I hope that makes sense.
So the advice is, if you're walking that, go somewhere, find somewhere quiet, and try talking to God.
Yeah, have it out. Speak
Have
to
it
him.
out.
Yeah.
I like that. Fab.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Gosh, wow, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
I actually want to do this again.
You know what? I might just ask my agent about that, to be honest.
Are you joking?
No. I might just ask. Yeah, I
okay.
just might ask somebody just to let me know how much
yeah.
this will cost, and I'll do
Yeah.
this for free.
Wow. Oh, well, that's generous of you.
Yeah,
Thank you so
yeah.
much for that. Hey, we hope you find this in some way useful. If you want to get in touch with us or ask the team any questions, hello@renewalcc.com. Have a look in the links in the description box below. They're all in there. We would love to answer any questions. Feel free to throw anything in comments, that kind of thing. If you've got anything for Naomi specifically or us as a kind of an online kind of chat,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, the team.
You know what I mean?
The team.
This channel,
Yeah.
the team, Renewal Online. You can just ask.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.